Did you know 95% of all Fortune 500 CEOs played sports? Well, there's a basketball academy that I know that would like to crank out more of those. It's 7 o'clock in the evening at Booker T. Washington Center in San Francisco. These kids, elementary to high school, are sharpening their basketball skills. They are training under the watchful eye of Jerome Gumbs, founder of Empower Me Academy.
Jerome started this like any amazing entrepreneur, had an idea, had a passion, and just started to build it. Build it as a, for all intents and purposes, a sole proprietorship. And over the years, like any good entrepreneur, you find people who can mentor you, can give you advice because they've made similar mistakes and or victories in building something. And Jerome just did this amazing job of building this ecosystem of people. And we asked Jerome, what's your vision here? Do you want to build this and make a bunch of money and sell it? I remember Jerome, I think almost interrupting me and saying, no, it's the latter. Like, I am doing this for my son. I'm doing this because of what my mom and my sisters instilled in me. I don't care about the money. I want to build this for kids. There was this group of us and we said, we ought to make this a nonprofit. And the reason we ought to do that is because you have so many people that want to support you that by making a nonprofit, it opens up the aperture for us to have that support to create a program. And so when we did that, we started to form a board.
When I first started Empower Me Training, it was a nonprofit before we went into a for-profit. And the person that I picked back then was David. I always respected this man because he has shown me a whole different perspective on how to be a leader. And we're lucky to have him as our president because, we like to say we coach from our hearts. He governs and leads with his heart. People that were picked on the board were people I trust that when times get rough and times get tough, and let's say we continue to expand and grow, I can trust them that we'll stay true to the mission of EMA. Every board member expressed in some capacity that I love that my kid has been able to receive this, but I wish every kid can experience this.
The organization was really trying to become what it could become at the next stage. It required a different kind of support. It required a different cooperative leadership, right? I don't think, the intent of the board is ever to say, we're gonna do what we do. It's gonna be, how do we amplify what your goals are?
Victor has emerged as someone I respect. He's someone that's been incredibly successful, believing that what we're doing at EMA is that valuable and that important that it needs to be everywhere. One time I approached him to do some videos, and I said, do you know anyone that can do videos on our budget? And he replied, like, what you're doing at EMA, I don't think you're really capturing it. And that's when he created the leadership series. Because he felt, after he interviewed every kid and crafted each video to their experience, whether it's resilience that they developed at EMA, whether it was courage, he wanted to capture the true essence of EMA, and I thought he did a remarkable job.
Like the pivot in there, that looks great. Nice.
How can the organization be authentic to that marketing, to that message, to the goals? How can we capture the emotion, internal struggle that the athletes encounter, and how does basketball fit into that?
Soft sleep.
I think the kids' ability to articulate what they were getting out of the organization was incredible. Our goal was just try to put that out and have them be able to express that in the terms that are relevant to them. Each one of the kids had a different priority, different goal, a different thing that they were challenged with. The goal is to try to encapsulate that message. What's in it for you beyond being just good at basketball?
In basketball, someone wins and someone loses. But these victories or defeats will pass.
I look fear straight in the eye because every failure helps me grow.
There are things you want in life, things you want to achieve, so you have to do what others aren't willing to do.
I'll be the scientist. I'll be running for office. Maybe you don't believe me, but you don't need to, because I do.
My name is Sterling Ludington Simmons.
Marcella Bustamante.
and I am empowered.
Ultimately, Jerome gave a lot of latitude and trust. You know, I think when you trust that someone else is going to take care of your baby as well as you do, then you know, it's different.
I never wanted this to be the Jerome Show. I never wanted this to be Coach Gum's Academy. I always wanted it to be something that San Francisco, the Bay Area, or even the country can be proud of, because we started focusing on the kids. We started investing in the kids.
Having a program like EMA where our kids of all different backgrounds see that we have leaders that are Black, Latino, male, female, and there's this mix. That's how we're going to change the paradigm in this country, is for people to see more and more leaders of all different backgrounds.
Here you have an African-American CEO, and then myself, director of operations, you know, a Latino, and you know, we're coaching and mentoring all these kids from different walks of life. And sometimes I have to pinch myself. It's like, is this really happening?
We as people of color need to see others of color really becoming successful and thriving. We don't see it enough.
I want to become a CEO, a person of color, where kids that look like me are inspired to do better than me.
What I have seen is his profound mentorship and how in the different phases of Empower Me Academy, when you can tell even when times are hard, he is doing outreach and bringing in kids, often from not so privileged backgrounds.
I'm from the Western Addition here in San Francisco, one of the roughest parts of neighborhoods in San Francisco. And I've been looking for a mentorship program for my son for the longest. I've even reached out to the district supervisors to try to start one on my own. Hi, Jerome.
Jess tracked me down one day and called me, and she was explaining to me what her kids were going through. And at first it was her son she wanted to have enroll in the program because she felt that he needed a role model of someone that can exude the excellence that she was looking for in a male figure. And I remember her explaining the Fillmore environment. And when she explained it, I immediately reverted back to how I was raised, how I had to navigate my upbringing. You know, St. Thomas, the Virgin Islands as a whole, which was named the murder capital in 2018. So when she was telling me about it, I immediately felt like I need to create this platform to give this kid a way out.
I like how they started off with the 101s because I felt like that's something that my son needed. You know, I'm a single mom. He's in a house with girls, me and his sisters. Really doesn't have a strong role model in his life. And then after a while, he started getting more and more comfortable with them, and I started seeing his confidence grow.
It got to become such a beautiful relationship that her daughter, who started playing basketball a little bit later, wanted to come, and it was really a blessing.
I just was starting off with basketball in the 6th grade, and then my mom finally signed me up, and I went to my first session, and I was like, wow, this is so much fun, and I realized that it was much harder than like school practices and like much more educational.
She usually outworks everyone in the gym. You know, what she lacks in experience, she makes up with effort.
From 7th grade to 8th grade, I got more confident. I became more of a leader. I definitely feel like I belong there. Like, I could call it my second home.
One time, I didn't get off work in time, and they walked all the way from home to Empower Me Academy, and I was like, oh my God, why would you guys do that? You know, because I'm just like super freaked out about the neighborhood that we live in.
I love this place, and it means that much to me that I would walk there, and it didn't even seem that long because I was just so excited to go to Empower Me.
They've learned so much in the program on the court to where some of those skills transitioned into the classroom. My son used to have issues with his behavior, and once he got into this program, I just started seeing a difference. The way he engaged with his teachers, the way he engaged with his peers. He was more responsible when it came to homework. He actually ended the semester with a 4.0. My black son is a straight A student. My daughter, she's also utilized these skills in the classroom. She was elected valedictorian, 4.0 student, top of her class. This program has been a real blessing to my family as a single mom. I need support. It takes a village to raise a child, and I feel like we are a part of Empower Me Academy's village.
I think so far we've done a fantastic job of not knowing which kids are being supported so that they can be here in the program, which kids are in a family situation where they can pay full tuition, so to speak. That's not known, and by design.
Empower me on 3, grade 1.
Empower me on 3. 1, 2, 3.
Empower me.